2% of the world's rarest zebras wiped out in Kenya's relentless drought. The carcass of the endangered Gravy's zebra, which died during the drought, is seen in the Samburu National Park, Kenya, September 20, 2022. CNN. A grueling 2 year drought in Kenya has wiped out 2% of the world's rarest zebra species and increased elephant deaths, as well as the climate crisis takes its toll on the East African nations' wildlife. Animal carcasses rotting on the ground, including giraffes and livestock, have become a common sight in northern Kenya, where unprecedented dry spells are chipping away at already depleted food and water resources. The gravy zebra, the world's rarest of the zebra species, has been the worst hit species by the drought. Andrew Latura, ecological and monitoring officer at the Gravy's Zebra Trust, kneels next to the carcass of the endangered Gravy's zebra, which died during the drought in the Samburu National Park, Kenya, September 23, 2022. Founder and executive director of the Gravy's Zebra Trust, Belinda Low McKay, told CNN that the species mortality rate would only rise if no significant rainfalls on the region. If the approaching rainy season fails, Gravy's zebra face a very serious threat of starvation, she said. Since June, we have lost 58 Gravy's zebra, and mortality cases are rising as the drought intensifies. Even the most drought resistant animals are impacted. One is the camel, which is known to survive lengthy periods without water. Camels are a valuable resource for many people in this region. Suju van Migen, an emergency response manager for the Norwegian Refugee Council in East Africa, told CNN. The deserts of Kenya are now littered with their carcasses. Kenya is on the blink of its fifth failed rainy season, and its meteorological department forecasts drier than average conditions for the rest of the world year. Conservationists are worried that many more endangered species will die. If the next rains fail, we could expect to see substantial spike in elephant mortality, says Frank Pope, who has Kenya-based conservation charity Save the Elephant. We are seeing herds splintered into the smallest unit as they try to eke out a living, he said. Calves are being abandoned, and the elderly elephants are dying. Without rain, others will soon follow. As the dry spell persists, other endangered wildlife is fast going extinct. Living off wildlife. The drought is also worsening poaching for bushmeat, which has risen among pastoralist communities in the north as the drought impacts other sources of income. In some areas, the gravy zebras are being poached in grazing reserves. The drought has led to increased poaching of gravy zebra due to large numbers of livestock converging on grazing reserves, McKay said. This has led to inter-ethnic conflict. Sometimes animals get caught in crossfire and poaching as herders resort to living up wildlife. Human wildlife conflict has also fueled the killing of dozens of elephants that are forced to come in close contact with humans as they chase shrinking sources of food and water, said Pops of saved the elephant. An elephant walking towards the nearby river in the Kimana Sanctuary in Kajiado, Kenya on September 25th, 2022. Last year, we lost half as many elephants to conflict with people as we did to poaching at the height of the ivory crisis 10 years ago, he tells the CNN. Nearly 400 elephants are lost to poaching 10 years ago, the highest in Kenya since 2005, according to a 2012 report by the country's wildlife service. While government action against the ivory trade has quartered ivory poaching in Kenya, poaching for bushmeat has persisted due to the drought and soaring food prices. Worst drought in decades. Since October 2020, four consecutive rainy seasons have failed in parts of Kenya and the Greater Horn of Africa. The UN says this is the region's worst drought in 40 years. More than 4 million Kenyans are food insecure due to the drought, and over 3 million can't get enough water to drink. The Grevy's Zebra Trust says it is helping endangered species survive the drought through supplementary feeding. The Graves Zebra Trust provides supplementary hay to help endangered Gravy's zebra survive the drought crisis in northern Kenya. We have one dedicated feeding team in each of the three national reserves, Samburu, Buffalo Springs, and Sava. On average, we are using 1,500 bales of supplementary hay per week, Mackey said, adding that other species such as oryx and buffalo are also benefiting. However, interventions for elephants at a scale that could make an appreciable difference are difficult to say, Pope. Providing new water sources can be counterproductive, for instance, causing local desertification, he said. Save the Elephant concentrates on helping local people protect themselves from conflict with the stray elephant and helps respond to incidents when conflict does occur. Pop also worries that when the rains finally come, there might be less grass due to overgrazing by livestock. A bigger concern is the overgazing that is starting to turn the fragile landscape to desert. When the rains do come, there will be less grass, even as the pressure on the landscape increases.